Good evening, everyone. I hope we all had a great day. My name is Steven Osemeke, and I'm excited to welcome you all to the day 3 of the SNYC Tech Training Program. Yesterday, we began with quite an inspiring session by the Special Assistant to the President on ICT and Development, Honourable Tokoni Igoin. From there, we moved to having sessions, 2 very powerful sessions from the session that we had with Dr. Chibuzo Udoku, who is a blockchain expert. We also had a session with Dr. Stephen Omowumi, who actually trained us with the whole aspect of cybersecurity, and he actually trained us with a very wonderful presentation. We are going to continue the sessions today, and we have a whole lot in stock, ranging from software development, project management, migration, and how to go about it. We have quite a whole lot in stock today. I have quite a lot in stock today. We also have in our midst today uh, the Special Assistant to the Honourable Minister of Youth on Gender Matters, Honourable Kehinde Charity Awujoola. I don't know if she's currently in the house. Good evening, madam. It's quite an honor to have you with us today. I hope you all can hear me.
We can hear you
Yes.
loud
Yes,
and
we
clear.
can.
Okay. All right. I don't know if the Honorable Special Essayist is in the house. I don't know if she's here. Okay. If the essay is not here, I would like the president of the Southern Nigeria Youth Congress to give us a brief opening speech so that we can start today's session. The president, whose name is Comrade Emodi Kelvin, please can you just give us an opening speech so that we can start today's session?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Stephen, and all those that have joined. Thank you so much. I want to start by appreciating Mr. Stephen, appreciating everyone who has been a part of this program thus far. Our resource persons, you guys have been wonderful, you guys have been impactful, and I want to just quickly advise that as Nigerian youths, and as we are charting the path forward, we should remain steadfast and resilient as we have always been, and that this path we're taking on, it's not going to be easy. If whoever says it's going to be easy, then we're lying. It's never going to be easy. So it takes determination to get to where you want to get to. Just like we heard from one of the youngest researchers and professor in the world who spoke to us yesterday on blockchain. He's just below 35 and he's already a professor and he works with the research institute in Vienna. He was able to achieve that height because of his determination, the level of perseverance, and not giving up. So I think that is one culture that has proven over time to be successful when choosing a career path or in anything you're doing in life. And it is my singular honor and joy when I see young Nigerians excelling in various areas or sectors they find themselves in. And I know everyone of you here can do it. And I also want to appreciate you again for this initiative. Having such mentors will also guide you. The essence of having a mentor is when you feel you're failing or you're falling, there will always be that supporting hand to hold you, to point you in the right direction, to guide you. But the truth is, even when you have mentors to support and guide you, you also have to have that determination to keep pushing as well. Because you can't build on an empty ground. There needs to be foundation. You have to have that willpower, that zeal, that enthusiasm to say, okay, I want to do this. And then they can help you find the path. So I'm more of just going to advise like I have. And I wish everyone the very best as you choose a path in tech. I myself am also going to take my own path in tech. I was going to do the part of my dear brother Stephen, but after hearing from our cybersecurity expert here today, I think I'll be highly considering that because he broke it down so simply and the different segments are part of cybersecurity. And he made it very, very interesting. And these are the kind of opportunities you're open to having such persons as mentors to guide you, to make you see what parts are there for you, how to go about things, where there are things where you can transfer for. So I think that will be my own part tonight. Look forward to learning again today. Thank you, and to all the speakers that are speaking today. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing what you have for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, so Mr. President, you've left me in my data world. You are now moving to cybersecurity because of just a presentation that was just less than 1 hour yesterday. Mr. President, you betrayed us.
You can win me back if you do that.
I'm sure he's a doctor. Hmm? Dr. Stephen Omomi is a renowned doctor with more than 7 years experience in the cybersecurity industry. I barely have about 4 years in my whole career as a data
No, like
engineer. So please don't set the bar. So you are trying to set the bar so high for me, but I will try my best. I'll try my best. All right,
I
moving on.
believe.
Thank you for your belief. Moving on, we have our first speaker for today, who is a renowned software engineer who happens to have worked as the vice president of a bank of New York, BY Mellon, which is one of the biggest banks in the world. For us to have someone at that level in their career in this place is such an honor. Mr. Lan Lugar. All right, Mr. Lan Lugar is an experienced software developer with over 7 years of expertise in web development. He previously served as the vice president of engineering at Bank of New York and is currently the technical lead at a growing startup in Canada. He holds a master's degree in geoinformation science from Poland. With a strong background in full stack development, Lugar has led the design and delivery of scalable user-focused software solutions. Lugar is passionate about mentoring. He actively supports aspiring developers through tech communities and one-on-one guidance. He believes in the power of technology to change lives and is driven by a mission to help others build meaningful careers in tech. Without further ado, I welcome you all to listen to Mr. Lugar. Good evening, sir. It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Good
Can you hear
evening.
me? Am I audible?
Sure, can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, I really appreciate that wonderful introduction. I will share my screen shortly for my presentation. Just give me a second.
You look so young. How come you have 7 years experience and being the vice president of ba Bank of New York,
Okay,
Mr. Lugar?
that's interesting. It's an
Please tell
interesting
us,
question.
did you start coding
Maybe it's
from
genes.
did did you start coding from kindergarten or something? You have to
I
tell
think
us,
that
please.
The looks are deceptive. Anyway, let me know if you can see my screen. Do you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay. So once again, I really appreciate this opportunity to be here. I appreciate the organizers of this program. It's an honor to be here, and I'm not taking it lightly. And I hope to, through my presentation today, help many people, or maybe somebody, who maybe has questions or has been looking to go into the world of software engineering, and maybe they don't know where to start. I hope to give you a brief fundamentals of what it is, the career paths, and the practical steps to succeed in this field. Yeah, so without any further ado, let's go on. If you're an experienced developer, maybe you might get one thing, maybe something, but if you're, maybe just looking or planning to go into this field, it will be a very good talk for you. Or if you're maybe just starting, you want to maybe take your career to the next step, that it may be useful to you. So,
Mr. Lugar, I don't know
yes,
if you can give the special advisor, a special assistant to the Honourable Minister of Youth, just 10 minutes because she just want to speak. She just came in now and
okay,
she's
that's perfect.
thank
Perfect, please.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. She will just have like 10 minutes and to give us just an opening speech, then you come in. So it's an honor to invite you, Honorable Kehinde Charity Awujoola, the Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister of Youth on Gender Matters. If you are here, please, can you take the mic, ma? Good evening, ma.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here today. First, I want to commend and appreciate the leadership of the Southern Nigerian Youth Congress and also the Future Forward Network for putting this together. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you all and the listeners and the participants in this great virtual program. As we embark on this exciting journey that started about 2 or 3 days ago, the training and mentorship, I want to appreciate the brains behind this initiative. Kudos to you. And as a special assistant to the Honourable Minister of Youth on Gender Matters, I am deeply passionate about empowering young people, especially women. That does not mean that I don't have the the male at heart. It's to break barriers and to excel in all fields, including the dynamic world of technology. We know that technology is not just the future, it is the present. It is also the transforming of industries, creating new opportunities, and shaping our world in a profound ways. Yeah, this program focusing on vital areas like data analysis, software development, cybersecurity, and AI is a testament to our commitment to equipping you with the skills you need to thrive in this digital age. It's about more than just learning technical skills. It's about unlocking your potentials and fostering innovation and building a community of future tech leaders. Personally, I'm particularly thrilled to see the emphasis on mentorship also. Having mentors to guide you, to share their experiences and to support you as you navigate your career path is invaluable and it cannot be overemphasized. Also, I want you to remember success is not just about individual achievements, it is about lifting others as we climb. So to all the participants here tonight and others that will still join as the virtual program goes on, I encourage you to embrace this opportunity with enthusiasm and determination. Stay focused, ask questions, collaborate, and don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zones. The skills you acquire here will not only enhance your career prospects, but also empower you to contribute meaningfully to the development of our dear country, Nigeria, even beyond. Let's work together to create a more inclusive and technologically advanced future. I am confident that this program will be a catalyst for change, inspiring you to innovate, lead, and make a lasting impact. Thank you very much. God bless you. And I wish you all a very best transformative journey as you embark on this virtual program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here. We hope to collaborate with you some other time because these programs like this would do better with a little bit of government support. Since you are the special assistant to the Honourable Minister of Youth on gender matters, it will actually serve the youth if from your position and from the position that you occupy, you can be able to actually also try to help encourage some of the participants here, because I believe most of the participants here are young people, and you know the situation of the countries. Some of them have issues getting data to access the platform. While we open the platform for the registration, we have more than 1,000 people registered for this program. But it's quite unfortunately to see the number of people who are able to log in every day, and you could say probably because of data and all that. So it will actually encourage us and encourage them if we can get some kind of support from you, from your office, if that will be possible.
Oh, okay, all right. I would I'm open to collaborations and partnership. Presently, I'm not speaking in the capacity of speaking for the Federal Ministry of Youth Development, but I'm speaking in my own capacity now as Honourable Kehinde Charity Awujoola. So I would speak with the leadership of the Southern Youth Council, and then we'll look at what we can do to support this program. If not this one holding now, but the future ones. No
Sure,
problem.
sure. We have the mentorship because you talked about mentorship. The reason
Yeah.
why we are having this session, after this session, there is a mentorship aspect already. From the previous two sessions we've had a number of people who have shown interest in being part of the mentorship community. So if there's anything that would come from you as a sort of support, it will go into mentorship because you know a lot about the journey in tech. It involves a lot of getting courses and all that. So it will actually help some of the participants if any incentive, anything that comes from you or from the government that helps them in their journey towards getting courses, just a support, any token would actually do, because that's actually the purpose of having programs like this, to kind of like support young people who have the aspiration to actually delve into these tech journeys. So it will really serve them a lot.
All right, no problem. Like I have said, I'll speak with the president of the Southern Youth Council, who is also a brother.
All right,
We'll
thank you.
see how we can support and help.
All right,
Thank you very much for having me once again. I hope everybody enjoy tonight's program.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you so much. All right, Mr. Lan Lugar, you can go on with your presentation now. Sorry for the we had to give honor to who honor is due. She happens to be a very busy lady, the special assistant to the Honourable Minister of Youth, and this is her purview, being a program that is that is a youth program. Most of the attendees are your youth, so we had to give her that preference. I hope you understand, Mr. Lan. Please, can you unmute your mic, sir?
Yeah, I'm muted now.
All right.
All right, no, that's fine. That's totally fine. And I really appreciate her for coming and gracing this event. I think it's really important that we have people like that to encourage people to go into into tech, because we need to. I mean, maybe Nigeria, the next thing Nigeria will export more will be human capital, and tech provides the opportunity for young people to make something out of the little they have. And so I appreciate her for coming here. So I think I'll continue. If you are able to see my screen,
Yeah, you
let me
can.
know. All right.
We are seeing your screen.
Oh, okay. All right. So what is software engineering? And a lot of people have an idea of what software engineering is based on,
You are currently on the last slide. Can you move it to the first slide?
oh, what do you see now? What's software engineering? Yeah.
No, we are seeing final words.
Okay.
Final words of encouragement.
How about now?
You stopped sharing.
Something happening. It's so you guys are saying different something else, and I'm saying something else. All right. Sorry. Let me know. How about now?
Okay, you started sharing.
Okay. What do you see?
Yeah, you can make the slide. Okay, better now. You can go on now.
Introduction to. Okay. So what page? So introduction to software engineering, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, when you hear software engineering, software engineers, I mean, different people have different perspective of who they are, you know. Some people maybe because of, you know, movies, they see a software engineer as someone who is this, you know, black guys in hoodies who sit somewhere, you know, hacking into systems. You know, some people hear of tech bros and um, what they think about is, oh, these guys who make money from their rooms. They are inspired by some of these things, but it's important to understand what really software engineering is and who software engineers are. So software engineering is it's the application, right? The application of engineering principles to design, development, testing, and the maintenance of software. It's not just about coding, you know. It goes beyond coding. It's about solving real world problems. Most of us, this world, it's driven by software now. We are able to have this meeting because of software, you know, because maybe I am on Zoom. I believe most of us here are on Zoom. So that's a software. Yeah. Maybe some of you today use Uber, some of you on social media, you know, software is all that thing, making of those applications that solve real world problems. If you just graduated, maybe you wrote JAM, you didn't register online, you know, wire registration and all that stuff. Um, these are software, and as a software engineer, it is important to know that you're someone who is supposed to, you know, who solves problems, and you use all software, you use programming and other tools that are available to, you know, solve that problem. So, who is a software developer? Someone who leverages some technology to solve real world problems, to provide real world problems. So to write a robust application, there are many people that go into writing a robust software. For instance, when you are on Zoom or you're on social media, you're on Instagram, you are interacting with something. Maybe you open your website, you click on a button and you're logged in. You are logged in, right? You're interacting with the software, but that's not all about the software. That's the front end of the user interface of the application. There are people who are responsible for building that part of the application. Those are front end developers. Now, when you click to log in, that application, the user interface that you're interacting with, is interacting with something else. It's a backend, an application sitting somewhere on a remote server that is maybe interacting with databases or other APIs to check who you are or return data to bring populate your user feed. All that is the backend. And so we have backend developers, those people who build us that stuff that stays on the server, that acts behind the scene. And then we also have mobile development. Of course, we have mobile phones these days. So if you have a mobile app, that application is built by mobile developers. And we also have other specializations in the field of software engineering, DevOps. These are people who, I said, the application sits on the server. People who are responsible to ensuring that this application is deployed, you know, right correctly on the server on the cloud somewhere. These are DevOps engineers. We have quality assurance people, people who ensure that the application is built to specifications or the right requirements, that there are no bugs in this application. Those are quality assurance people. Data engineering, we have data engineering people. Game development people, we have AI and machine learning and cloud engineering. These are all software engineering roles. These are all different kinds of people in the software engineering space. So don't limit yourself. Don't see yourself as, okay, I can't code. Can I do something else? That's so many roles that are available in the software engineering space that one can leverage or one can feel coming. Based on your interest, based on your skills, you can take any of this road. People do front end, do back end. You can combine a couple of those as well, but don't limit yourself. Don't see software engineer as just someone who can code or software engineer, someone who can code or someone who can program. And then let's talk about programming languages. So maybe now I might have interested you or piqued your interest in software engineering, but you aren't saying, okay, software, what are programming language? What programming language should I use maybe? Or how can I start? Which one should I start? Because there are a lot of them, there are a lot of options. And sometimes when you have so many options, you are bewildered, you're wondering, oh, where should I start? What can I start? So my advice for you is don't think too much about learning everything. It's important just to maybe understand what you want to do. Maybe by now you know that, okay, I've had interest in front-end development. I want to be a front-end developer. I want to be a back-end developer, If you're a front-end developer, for instance, I'll say, learn JavaScript. Why? Learn JavaScript because it will allow you to practice do what you want to do immediately and start seeing results and allow you to practice. If you maybe want to go into AI machine learning, you might want to consider Python. Why Python? Because Python is the language that's very popular in that space. And so you might say, oh, but right now I just want to experiment. I just want to learn, see where I might I might want to go into AI later. I want to go into something else. I don't want to limit myself, start learning this, maybe learn this language, and then later I want to do something else. And then it's a problem. But my advice for you, just take any language. And if you have an interest at hand, just practice in that field. For instance, I mentioned that, maybe I mentioned before, or they mentioned that my background science. I remember my first language I learned was Python a few years ago. I was then working as a GIS person. So we were automating data processing tasks, special data processing tasks. And we were using Python to write scripts. That's how I learned programming. And later on, I wanted to transition into web development, front-end development. It wasn't so difficult for me, let's say, because I had to transition from using Python to using JavaScript. But because I understood the core concepts of programming, like data structures, understanding what variables are, how those things, how they're represented in memory, understanding control structures. I could transition that knowledge into learning JavaScript. Of course, there are new concepts and maybe new syntax, but the basics stay the same. If you're learning every language, you might learn different syntax, but you still learn about variables, you still learn about looping, you learn about conditional statements, So these concepts are mostly the same, and you have an understanding of it when you learn one language. So my advice would be, pick a language, learn it, and try to understand programming. Try to think like a programmer in that language. Then moving to another language will be easier. They're talking about the mentorship. So for instance, people who be interested in mentoring, my focus, for instance, would be not to make you master a language or master a framework, but it would be more about understanding to think like a programmer, think like someone who solves problems using programming, right? That would be the focus. How that will help you to transition into any other field that you might want, maybe easier, especially learning when it concerns using software programming. So it's also the software development lifecycle. So what is the software development lifecycle? Before I mentioned beforehand that building a software, robust software requires different teams, a team or different teams with different various specialties or skill sets. So also the software development lifecycle has a series of processes or phases that the software goes through. The first would be requirements gathering, but this is a stage where you want to know, okay, what does the user want? What do we want to build for the user? You want to, at this time, maybe a lot of information gathering as to what the user wants, what the need is, and trying to, map all that out. Understanding the user, understanding what they need. That's requirement. Then you go to the design phase, maybe talking about the functionality of the application, or how it should look, graphic designers and all those, the other design, understanding the domain, putting the functionalities. What should this do? What should this part of application do? That is the design. After all that design, you go into development. That's when you start to develop an application. This is where people, start to type code functionality. Actual coding takes place at this stage, and then testing. After this code, the people code, developers code this, it goes through the testing phase. People start to take tests. Sometimes that different kinds of testing. It could be internal, it could be with external users, different companies, different products, different requirements. But then there's a testing phase to ensure that this software meets the user, the requirements that were stated out, and also is bug free. Then there's a deployment. The deployment is this. You want this application to be somewhere on the server where more people outside of you maybe your local system or the company can access. You want it to be somewhere remotely, so that it can be remotely accessed by people. Then there's maintenance where the reported bugs are fixed and new features are added over time. It's very instructive to know that this, I mentioned this, I talk about this as if it's a straight line. You start from research and you end here. But it's more like it's interactive, especially in modern day agile environments. It's more like an interactive process where features are added incrementally, So one feature goes through this process and then the next one starts like that. But it's normally like this, no matter what it is. You have to get your requirements, design, develop, test, deploy, and then continue to maintain. So what does this mean for you? This means that, like I stated, different roles, right? That different people, different teams take care of different parts or phases of the software development lifecycle. So there's an opportunity for you. Maybe you are just someone who likes to design, you're someone who likes to talk to people, or likes to lead, or someone who has experience managing projects, developing products. You can still enter this space. You don't necessarily need to write code to enter into the tech world, or the software development world or sphere. So how do I start? For instance, maybe you've not started, you've not written any code in your life before. You might be asking, how do I start? There are many, if you didn't study computer engineering or computer science in school, you might wonder if this is even for you. But my answer to you will be yes, absolutely. You can. Most software developers these days are self-taught. Like I mentioned, I didn't study as well. And then thousands of the Nigerians working at home and abroad, most of them are self-taught as well. And most of them are doing very well for themselves. We have Nigerians who have sold their companies for millions. We have Nigerians who are or who are billionaires right now, right? Maybe they're not in Nigeria, but maybe out abroad, but maybe they learned by themselves. So many successful developers who are leaders in this tech space are self-taught developers. So how do you start? There are many resources these days. Maybe example would be Free Code Camp. We have websites like that or applications like that. Free Code Camp, where it provides comprehensive and free coding courses, and they also provide you certificates. There are also YouTube channels like Coding with Mosh, Fireship, but these are just few, maybe some that I'm more interested in. But there's so many channels out there to help you start to learn code, expose you to coding, and then Another one will be Code Academy, Udemy courses. Udemy and Coursera, these ones are a little bit more expensive. You have to pay money for them, right? But they provide a very comprehensive, and structured learning path for you to learn software development. And the next step will be practice. It's very, very, very important. Good developers are not born. That's what I believe, and this is what many people believe, and this is totally what I believe from my years of experience. I feel like it's the more you code, the better you become. There's a saying that practice makes perfect, but this is really true, really, really true for in software development. When you start out, it can be overwhelming, or there will be this imposter syndrome, whether you belong, you can't remember, maybe you can't remember what you learned yesterday. These are things, real things that everybody face. Like, I remember the first time I picked Java to learn, I was like, okay. Every other day I come, I feel like, oh, I have to go and refresh again. Like, what was this? Can't even remember the syntax. It's possible. But what happens is when you practice, you begin to, repeat some of the concepts you learn, begin to pick some of the concepts, solve problems, So you see, you get errors, but then the more of those errors you solve, the easier it is for you to solve them the next day. Like that, it begins to as you begin to practice, the more you practice, the better you just become. You just naturally just become a better developer, begin to solve problems faster. And sometimes when you do things or solve problems for people, they feel like, oh, how did you know that? But it's nothing. It's not because that person is super good, but then it's maybe just because he practices more, he codes more. There's a saying, good developers code. That is true. So you don't have to know everything. Just the little you know, do something with it. It could be build a small calculator, I mean, just challenge yourself. You might assume you can do it, but do it. Question is, do it. Try building it. If you can, then fine. You just did it, right? Then take another one. Try building it. Don't assume you know it. Just do it. Get your hands wet, like dirty. Do it, right? Build a personal blog, build an e-commerce site. Try doing these things and see some of the challenges you may face. It's also very important to join communities. They help a lot. There's a saying that if you want to go far, you go with people, right? You want to go fast, you go alone, but when you go far, you go with people, and that is very true. Some of the communities, there are many communities. A good one is this community that is forming right now. I feel this is going to be a good community for people, since there'll be people who may be more experienced, people who have shared the same interests as you, encourage each other, to challenge each other, and also, get opportunities from these people. I listed some of the, communities that I feel are very important, maybe to look at, like Dev Career or Loop Africa, the Twitter tech space. Join people, follow people, join Discord and Slack groups. So another one is open source contribution. This is very, very, very important. Why am I saying very, very important? I remember when I started learning, when I was learning, there was this, I felt stuck in my career once. I felt like I wasn't growing enough. I felt like I could do what I wanted to do, but there was still this need, like, am I good enough? Am I questions? Or, wanted to do some challenge myself or meet people who could train me, people who are very experienced, people who have international experience. Like, oh, how can I wanted to, get that exposure, maybe without a job at the time, maybe a job, international job, I mean. Open source can help provide that for you. You don't need to know everything to start to contribute. You just need to, see problems. Like, for instance, go into open source projects. There may be things like fixing documentation, correcting an error, reporting a bug, testing the application, reporting a bug, and the things like that. I mean, if you don't know what open source is, I'm more than happy to answer some questions maybe at the end, but I'll just go through assuming you know what the open source is. But if you don't know for sure, just ask me about it and I'll tell you more. And also, maybe if you are interested in doing more of this open source contributions, if you're in the mentorship program, I'll be more than happy to introduce you into it. How can you do it? There are also platforms that can help you. You can contribute and maybe get a little bit stipends as well. Get quality mentorship. Understand how real world problems, environments that solve big problems work. That's what mentorship does for you. Open source does for you. If you're interested to maybe check out one that is going on now is called Google Summer of Code. The registrations to Google Summer of Code is going on right now. So if you are someone who's passionate about open source or you want to learn, get mentorship, we are talking about people who are working on very, very complicated systems. You can check Summer of Code with Google. Just Google it, but I have the links that I can maybe share with people who are interested. You can register. That's going on right now. There's other one, outreachy.org. Then we have other ones like Hacktoberfest. These are some of the ones. Some of them even provide stipends for people who do this open source. Like you apply, they accept you, which they do sometimes. If you prove to them you really want to, you might even earn some stipends doing this while you're learning how to code. And the one, like for instance, outreach actually helps women a lot. They prefer people who are less represented. For instance, ladies have a lot of leverage, applying to get into outreach, and also maybe people of color. They also have an advantage to get into it. So I'll be more than happy to talk more about this subsequently. So technical interview. We don't have much time, so I'm blazing through this. I'm running through it. Technical interview. Maybe you
The
started
voice
learning.
is little low, babe.
Okay. Am I better now? Am I loud? Am I more audible now?
I feel volume. Where's your earpiece?
I don't have
Okay.
earpiece. That one is no good. I want the earpiece more. The mark I mean, but I did mistake. I mean,
Okay.
I was with it. There was something I did. I left that.
Please, can we mute? All right.
What are we
Okay.
starting? We've not started.
We cannot hear you, sir.
Mr. Lam, please can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Someone muted me. All right. So, the technical interview process or the interview process entirely, I've been on both sides, and I will give you some practical advice. Like I can't tell you so much right now. I'll just give you a few pointers. But I'm more than happy, like I said, in the mentorship program, give people pragmatic tips, how to get a job, how to position yourself to get a job. How can you really get a job in tech? There's some things you have to do. There's some things you need to know. But as someone who is going into, just starting, it's very important to understand that you have to know about data structures and algorithm, how to solve problems there. You have to learn how to code and solve these challenges. So there are many platforms that are available for you. For instance, HackerRank, LeetCode, which other one? Code Wars, for instance. I started with Code Wars. When I started like some few years ago, I was really on Code Wars. It's fun. Another way, it also reinforces what you learn because you challenge yourself. It's like competitive coding, right? You are learning to solve problems. You are just trying to solve problems. So every day you wake up, maybe you don't have to do 100. You just can do one, can do two, can do three, depending on how fast or how you want to learn. Challenge yourself. Try to, challenge yourself to solve that before you look at the solution. But then there are also some fundamentals you need to know before you get into all those things. I think you have to talk about substance. It's instrumental for you to solve coding challenges because as a beginner or as a junior, you most likely are going to be asked to solve these questions. And then more senior people might be asked about system designs. But I'm assuming that most of us here, I just want to go into the tech space. So I won't talk too much about that. But yeah, like I said, in the mentorship program, we will have to deal with people individually. If you're more advanced and you want to take your career to the next step, we have to deal with you individually. And then we can say, how can you answer such questions? And then also things like behavioral questions, as you develop your technical skills, you have to learn to develop your soft skills as well. Like I said, we've had interviews where the question was, maybe we met two qualified people and maybe both of them could be a fit for that. The question most times is like, who would you like to work with most? So you don't leave your personality, bring your personality, the personality that other people like to work with as well. That also sometimes helps work in your favor. So apart from your technical skills, your personality is another thing that is looked at. So learn about behavioral questions, like talking about your experiences, talking about cultural fits, talking about how you deal with challenges, things like that. These are things you have to learn. Like I said, the mentorship program, if you are part of it, setting up mock interview questions, trying to interview, these are things that could be offered to people, and I think that it would be a very fun one doing these things. And so if you are part of it, I think that there's a lot we can. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. So I had this as a final encouragement. First of all, don't consider yourself being maybe in Nigeria. Oh, am I limited at what am I limited? There's no limitation. You have no limitations. Remember, you have no limitations. There are many successful companies here in Nigeria doing very well. And maybe the next big one is you. It's going to start it. And like I said, I want you as a programmer to look at yourself as someone who prefers solutions. So you could be the person building the next big thing, but there are also many Nigerian developers who are working abroad in Microsoft, Google, like big companies, big financial companies. So remember that you might be the next person. So think about it that way. With your laptop and the internet, you have access to some of the best teachers in the world, some of the best people in the world, some of the best quality work in the world. So you don't need to go to a physical classroom. You don't need to come study abroad, to be a renowned software. You need to have that mindset to do it. So I'll leave you with some few quotes. First of all, Elon Musk said something. I think I like it so much. He said that ordinary people, can choose to do extraordinary things. And also, Steve Jobs said something that you should stay stupid, and then what? Stay hungry. You have to stay stupid. You have to stay hungry. It's a part that is very rewarding. Try to learn every time. Try to position yourself to learn. Pick up new things. When new trends come, be adaptable. Try to learn new things. Pick things. And every day see that you are developing. You are not the same person. That helps you stand out a lot. So thank you so much. And right now, I don't know what I'm the one to say, but I'll leave the room for any questions. If you have any direct questions to me, I'm more than happy to answer this question. And yeah, so thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lan. Thank you. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. I'm sure all the software developing enthusiasts here, I'm sure they would want to ask a couple of questions. We already have some questions. Let us just rush it. Okay, there's a question from it said, do you have recommendations on communities we can join on any platform, sir?
Yes, so I did mention a couple for you.
Yeah, I think you did.
I did mention a couple for you, and I can send that directly to you. How do I send? Can I send this? How can I send some?
We can, no worry, we are going to send them on the mentorship community.
Okay.
So you just join the mentorship community, we'll be able to send all of that.
Okay, because there are so many links I provided. For instance, the open source one that I mentioned. I would like you guys to maybe take a look at it. So there are so many things I would like to send to you guys. So I'll send everything to the organizers, and I believe they will get that.
All right. There's another question. It said, I want to ask if SML is part of programming language.
SML.
Yeah.
What's the full meaning? What's SML?
I don't know.
Say the full. Is it XML or
XML?
Okay.
X.
Okay. XML. Okay. Extended markup language. Okay. Yeah. Well, it is, right? Can we say it's a language? It's a markup language. It's not like a programming language, let's say, right? XML is used in different things, as a markup language to represent different things. For instance, sometimes data is represented as XML. For instance, we're looking at SVGs, they're also kind of like XML. HTML is a form of so XML, you can look at it as a language, but it's a markup language to represent data. So yeah, look at it like that. It's still a language, but it's very, very specific for something, which is data representation, rather than a general purpose language like Python, JavaScript. It's a little bit different. It's just like HTML, let's say, but it's for data representation.
All right, thank
Does
you
that
very
answer your
much.
question? Do you need further clarity,
Yeah,
clarification?
it is quite clear. There's another question. They said, what of someone that is new to tech, that has no idea of tech and is so much interested in learning? Because I just joined now and this is my first time here. So how can that person start? Let's say I've been hearing about tech, and I want to join. What would be the roadmap for that person, according to
Okay.
you? Just
Yes.
try to remember how you came into the industry and
Mhm.
try to relate it to this person.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's right. So, first of all, you have to know where you are interested in. Like I did mention a couple of roles here. Know where you want to start. Do you want to start as a web developer? Do you want to start as a mobile developer? All that is important. Like know where you want to start, and you can take a course on that part, right? In that part, like if it's web development, okay, I want to start. I want to build from web applications. Take a course in web application, like maybe free courses, and then start to code. Start to code. First of all, see whether you like it or not. Test it, build stuff with it. That's how you start. Pick an area, start to learn, and start to practice. Don't just bing courses and say, "Oh, I'll learn everything," and then start to build something. It's very important. Just start to build anything, and you progress from there. Like I said, don't try to learn everything. Just start with the little and progress from there. So my short answer is know what you want to be, what role you want to go into, take a course on that, and start to build from there. Subsequently, it could be joining communities, like I said, joining mentorship programs. For instance, they're offering a mentorship program here. You might want to join and be part of that mentorship program. But remember that learning is driven by you. Mentors can just push you. Like not push, let's say, guide you, that's the right word, can guide you how to go. Oh, do this. You don't know that's what mentors can do for you. But the learning bit is yourself. Take a course, learn, be diligent, do it every day, and you become better at it. So I don't know if you have other questions or hope this help answers your question.
Right. Thank you very much. I have a personal question I want to ask you. Having worked in big organizations like being the VP engineering of Bank of New York, and you have interacted with people from very like people at the high leadership of such big organization, and looking at your background coming from Nigeria and all that, do you think that there is a need for us to have a mindset shift as Nigerians? Okay. Okay. Do you think? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I saw a message that said they can't hear me. Can you hear me? Were you hearing me what I
Yeah,
was
I can
saying
hear
earlier?
you. Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Do
Yeah.
you think that there is a need for us to have a mindset shift as Nigerians? Because I know something that happens to most Nigerians when they're in Nigeria. They think that that there's a difference between doing working as a Nigerian with a particular skill and working in diaspora in such an environment. I don't know if you understand. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that you must have felt some kind of way the first time you got into such an environment, being the only
Hmm.
black person in the room,
Hmm.
that kind of a
Yeah.
place and stuff. How was it like? You know?
Yeah. So that's a good question. That's a very good observation. Like, I remember the first time I had a meeting with the management, and it was like Okay. I looked around when the only black person and maybe smallish. I always look smallish, right? And I was like, okay, do I belong here? You know, you know. Anyway, but um, mindset shift is first of all understanding that you belong. What I mean is you have what it takes. You know, you have what it takes. It's very important to know that the more you practice, the more you learn, the more you put yourself down to get these concepts. These concepts, you can be in Nigeria, are the same anywhere else. As long as you're learning, you are not limited to Nigerian content, right? You are learning from multinational people who have worked from different fields. Like if you are learning on Udemy, you're learning the very best. Of course, there's nothing beats practice, right? Maybe being there physically, but it's just a matter of just having that experience, right? So the part of competence, that part is taken care of. Like know that you are competent, know that you belong, know that you can do whatever any other person can do, right? That is very, very important. And that helped me. There's this thing called imposter syndrome. Like you can have it. You have that imposter syndrome, feeling like maybe, oh, this is not me, this is not where I belong. I can't do this. When you have it, don't think that, okay, don't let that define you. Just know that you have what it takes, to be there, to solve these problems. And learn, just work hard, become better. And when you start to solve problems, when you start to, provide solutions, automatically that confidence comes. That's why it's important. Like open source, for instance, if you don't have that opportunity, I can't recommend open source enough. When you work with these people, working on open source, you're working with very important people. Like what I mean is very leaders in the space. That gives you a lot of confidence when you begin to do stuff. When you go anywhere, you know that you've done important things also. So it gives you confidence, and you can exude that in any room you sit. Yeah, so this is what I can say. Don't belittle yourself, don't look down yourself. That's all.
Thank you so much. From what you said now, I believe that let us practice, and once we are good, we will become confident because we
Yeah.
actually do belong. Thank you so much. We will get in touch because many people are asking questions about the open source contribution stuff. So we will get some of these details from you and actually share them in the mentorship group, because some of these things we can't do them here. So it's in the
Yeah.
mentorship classes that you'll be able to have this hands-on training and guiding people through how they can actually contribute to in all these open source platforms. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Mr. Lan. It's quite an honor
Thank you
to have
so
you here.
much.
It's quite an
I
honor.
really appreciate you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. If
thank
there are
you.
any further questions, I will relay them to you and we'll
Sure.
share them in the in the mentorship group. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Pleasure.
Okay. We have another speaker that is going to grace us this evening. We have who is a lady, Kerry Utti. She's a blazing lady, and she's going to give us a presentation on project management. Most of us don't know what project management is, and she's going to give us the explanation of what it is and how we can navigate our career in that sector. So let me briefly read Kerry's bio. Kerry is a certified IT project manager with a project management professional PMP certification. She's a certified Scrum Master. Among others, she has a passion for successfully guiding complex IT projects across various sectors, including technology, insurance, FMCG and CPG, manufacturing, finance, oil and gas, health, legal, communications, and construction. She specializes in adaptive project management methodologies, comprehensive risk assessment, and delivering high quality driven outcomes. With expertise in both traditional and waterfall and agile framework, she ensures seamless project execution, stakeholder alignment, and measurable business impact. Beyond project management, she's also a mentor, guiding aspiring project managers as they embark on their careers She provides them with the knowledge, the skills, and support needed to navigate the industry successfully and build a strong foundation in project management. Her mission is to ensure that every project she manages is executed to the highest standard, aligns with client and organization goals, and delivers tangible value. Without further ado, I welcome you, Mrs. Mary Kerry Utti. Are you with us?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You look quite beautiful. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here also. Thank you for the introduction. Okay.
You're a big fish.
Oh my God. Okay, then let me just start by sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
We have seen Zoom. I'm currently seeing myself.
Okay, just give me a minute. All right, I think we're good now.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here today. My name is Mary Kerry Utti, as Stephen has introduced, and I'm a certified IT project management professional. For over 4 years now, I've been managing IT projects. So I'll just give a brief intro on how I started working as a project manager. So fast forward to back then when I was serving NYC. I'm sure everyone or most people here are maybe entry level or they've done their NYC. I was opportune to work with a technology company, and my role there was to be the social media slash digital marketer right there. So my the role entails gathering people, creating content, and all of that. You know what social media management, what they do. So I noticed that I'm someone that has always been key in bringing people together, even outside work, family activities, events with my friends. I'm the one that's always planning and just trying to make everyone come together, looking out, hanging out, and all of that. So that was what I was doing as a social media slash digital marketer. I was always like taking posts, posting, making sure our Instagram is up to date and all of that. So I knew I wanted more for myself, and I knew I wanted to go into the tech industry, right? So I did some research. I'm not someone that is very big on coding. I didn't want to code. I don't know. I just see it as something that's not my thing, right? I know my strengths, and I knew like I wanted something that would suit me and I would enjoy on the long run. So I came across project management. I knew what project management was about, but I didn't have like detailed knowledge on it. So I did my research, and I was able to, I have some of these skills, what does it take to be a project manager? So I started researching, and I was opportune to like start a course, Google Project Management course on Coursera. And my former employer back then was able to give me a premium subscription on Coursera. So it was easy for me to like just study alongside doing my role. And I could remember there was a product we were about to launch back then. And he was like, "Oh, can you take up this project? Can you coordinate it?" And that was when I applied what I had learned back then to the projects. Right, I was able to coordinate it. It came live, and since then I was like, "Oh, I can really do this." I got commended for how I was able to manage the project, and it came to life. So my role changed there to an IT project coordinator. And after then, I wanted more for myself. So I left the company and, went to another tech company. And so far now, I'm working in the insurance as an IT project manager. And that's like basically how I started my career in project management. So without wasting much time, I will just move on to the slide and just give a brief introduction about project management, what project management entails, how you can start your career as project management, life cycle of a project manager, the project constraints, methodologies used in project management, some project management tools, and also, certifications that can make you stand out in the job market. So I would be moving on to my slide now. So what is project management? Well, I tell anyone that project management is the process of planning, organizing, controlling, and executing a set goal and objective, right? That is my own definition of project management. Think of it as a party. You have like a wedding or an event you're trying to plan, and you have to create like a list of things you would want to do. There's a goal. The goal is the birthday party, right? The activities that would make that party come to life. So you need to get vendors, you need to allocate budget, you need resources, you need people to set up the place, you need to pay for hall, you need a DJ. Those are like your planning phase of a project, right? And you would, at the process of executing, maybe you have already set a timeline. So the party is going to happen month's end. So you are working towards achieving everything you've planned towards that timeline. That's the 20th or the 31st of a month. Oh, that's going to be our goal life for the party. So that's what project management is about. You're setting a clear objective, or maybe an organization or a company would want to launch a product. You are setting up a clear objective. You're gathering requirements for that project, and you have a set timeline. Budgets are allocated for that. You're trying to get resources that work on the project, and you're gathering everything. You are trying to deliver a quality project that everyone is going to be satisfied at the end of the day. So, but this, my definition here, I took it from PMI. PMI is Project Management Institute. They are the global recognized project management body in the world. So if you have like a certification from PMI, you tend to be like someone that's gone through, or you are someone that's is able to, they trust you. Employers get to like, give you a benefit of doubt for you to, manage their project. So what is PMI? What is project management according to the PMI definition? Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. Like I mentioned earlier, I used the birthday party and wedding event as an example. It's the practice of planning, like I mentioned, organizing, executing the task that needs to turn a brilliant idea into a tangible product, service, or deliverables. That is what project management is according to PMI definition, right? So we have various aspects of project management. You have defining a scope, you have identifying deliverables, and you have managing risks. In any project, there must be a risk. Risks are they are inevitable in a project, right? You get to find risks. Even daily life, there are risks. You can go out, something happens, we are exposed to risks. So that's how projects are also exposed to risks. So that's basically what project management is about. And I tell people that I've spoken to, some of my mentees, I've told them that project management is like your day-to-day life, because every day you wake up, you have things planned. Most people wake up today, or you are waking up tomorrow, you are going to work, you have classes. If you're a student, you have a class that you need to attend. If you have a shop, you need to go to your shop. You have time allocated to get to the shop. When you get to the shop, you have a list of activities or things you need to do. And most people, I'm sure people know how to journal or write things down. As you're writing those things, those are your activities. You make sure that you are able to achieve those things that day before you leave. You have classes, you need to attend those classes. You go back to your hostel, you get to prepare, you have dinner. There's a time slot allocated to those activities. People don't just live life like, no. Most people have things planned out, their day-to-day activities planned out. If you're a worker, you're going to work in the morning, you have a couple of meetings and all of that. So project management is like your day-to-day life. And I'm sure everyone here, in one way or the other, you've managed projects. Yes, you have family events. Some of you are the one that is always organizing family events. They're always calling you, or you're the one that is trying to gather everybody in the family to come to, bring everybody together. Or you have a friends group, you are the one always trying to gather everyone. Let's go out, let's go to this restaurant. You have a timeline. You're the one calling people, oh, make sure you come on time and all of that. So everyone, I'm sure one way or the other, you've managed projects. It's not that maybe you've not managed projects, to bring you money or professionally, maybe in an organization. So that's what project management is all about, right? In a nutshell. So I will just move to the next slide, where I'm going to talk about project constraints. So project constraints are the things that sums up a project, right? So you have a scope. What is a scope? A scope is like a, how will I term it now? A scope is a set of, goal or deliverable or requirements you tend to achieve, right? So you have a scope. And from the scope you get in IT project management, when you have a scope, you have business owners. You have business owners or project owners that want a particular product or an application. Oh, I need an application that can be able to clock time attendance, like in an organization. When everyone comes in, they're able to put their thumbprint in and, gather people, get people's attendance when they get to work. So that's like an idea someone brings up. So what does it entail? What can make that the idea come to life? Everyone gathers that is involved in the project. You have people gathering scope. What do we need? What can be in the document that will go out that we can use for planning of the project. That's what the scope of work means. That's what scope means. Scope is like the objective or the goal of a project. That's what scope means. Then we have time. Time is another project constraint. Time is very important because you cannot just be running a project like that, or you allow the project to just be going on and on and on and on. No, you have to have, like, a project has to be time bound. Oh, I want to run this project for 3 months. I want to run this project for 6 months. I want to run this project for a year. It depends on the kind of project you are trying to entail. We have, like, in Nigeria now, most people know that we have the Calabar Coastal Road. The project is ongoing. If you've passed that Lekki, if you're in Lagos, you've passed it's ongoing. And, I don't know when it's going to go live, right? But if you go there, things are happening. The project is already being executed, right? So we're just expecting when it goes live, we'll be able to use the road and it will be better for us, right? So there's a timeline to all of this. I don't think you cannot leave your project open. No, I'm doing a project, I don't have to have a time, because resources are going into this project. Money, that's budgeting, is going into this project. You have to budget. So the costs. So that's why a project has to have a time. And end users, people that are going to use this particular product would be expecting it. So you can't just keep a project running for years and years and years going on. No, it's going to affect the end users that are going to use this project. That's what time is. Costs, you have to allocate costs in any project. Anything you are doing in life, money is involved. So in a project, you need to identify what is going to be the cost. What budget am I going to allocate to this project? So cost is very important in project. And all of this scope, this time, and this cost forms up a quality, like you see in this triangle. The quality is what you're giving out. How is this? Okay, you've put in scope, you've put in time, you've put in cost. So what is it going to, how well will the quality of the project be? If you don't scope your project well, the quality is going to affect the quality. If you don't allocate a good amount of time to this project, it's going to affect the quality of your project or your product. And if you don't give good costs, or you don't allocate very good budget to this project, if you are not budgeting well, budget costing and estimation, if you are not doing it well, it's going to affect the quality of a project. So these are what comes or forms what a project constraint is all about. Okay, yeah. So in the project management lifecycle, we have about 5 phases in project management lifecycle. I think the former speaker talked about a software development lifecycle. Is kind of, you have to we manage software projects, we manage various projects across industries. So this lifecycle varies across industries, but you have to pass through all this lifecycle because it's very important in project management. So the first thing here is project initiation phase. we have project planning phase, we have project execution phase, we have I think this is the control phase, right? And we have the project closeout phase. Like the name implies, I'm sure you have a bit of idea what all these phases are about, but I will just speak on them briefly. So the project initiation phase is, you are initiating a project. Somebody from somewhere or an organization or your CEO or maybe your school vice chancellor or anybody just like, oh, I have an idea. I think we have to come through. We need to bring up this particular product. People would like it or people have been asking for it, and it's going to streamline, it's going to drive business, it's going to create revenue in your organization. What do you think about it? That's the initiation phase. Somebody brought in that idea and you have various people, maybe like a board, the board leaders come together talking about the project. That's already, you are initiating an idea. That's the initiation phase of a project. In that phase, you are going to, in this initiation phase, there's going to be a scope of work document or a business requirement document, depending on the industry. Some industry uses project charter, so it just depends. So you are going to, from that initiation phase, you are going to prepare that document. That document is going to come to life. And that's the document you are going to use in planning, you are going to use in executing, you're going to use in control till you get to close out the project. So in the initiation phase, you have a couple of senior stakeholders in the initiation phase talking about the project. How well will this project be effective for the organization? Is it going to bring revenue? Is it going to streamline our operations? All of that. That's what the initiation phase is all about. Planning phase is very important in project management. If you don't plan, there's this saying, those who fail to plan to fail. If you don't plan well, trust me, your project is not going to come to life. You need to plan well in project management. The planning phase entails, you are going to prepare a work breakdown structure or a project plan. You're going to allocate resources. I'm trying to build a software development. I'm managing a software development project. Whereas that in a software team, you need developers, you need quality assurance, you need people that would pen test, you need people that would, you need, if you are building an app, you need like a database, right? You need to set servers and all of that. So this planning phase, you need to make sure that these things are available and you need to carry everyone along. This project has been initiated, or we need to know which particular department or which particular people are in charge of working on so and so project. So in this planning phase, if you don't plan, if you don't carry everyone along, if you don't allocate the right resource, so if you are doing a construction project, for instance, you need to buy building materials, right? You need to buy maybe blocks, cement, and all of that. You need to buy those materials. And if you don't buy enough materials, it may affect the execution of that project. Just imagine you're building a house, you just buy 5 bags of cement or maybe very less quantity of blocks. And at the end of the project you are building, you just manage. That's why we get to see that houses collapse, because they don't use very strong materials. You don't use enough materials. Some people will mix all those things with sand and you'll be hearing houses collapse. So planning phase is very, very important in project management. And when you plan, after planning well, you move to the execution phase. The execution phase is where the real work happens. This is where you have developers building, writing their code. You have, there's a timeline to it. And sorry, in this planning phase, you are going to allocate time. So for instance, you want to build an application, you've looked at it, you've weighed options, you've gotten feedback from the developers, and they've said, 3 months, it take me 3 months to achieve this project. You are going to add maybe 1 or 2 weeks to it. So in case there are risks, that would come up, maybe developers are not feeling well or construction workers are not feeling well, you need to have like mitigation plans, someone that will be able to replace them. You have to plan all of that in the planning phase. So after planning, you are moving to the execution phase. In this execution phase, that's where the work is being done. That's where you have people writing code, people test, you're writing code, you are building the app, you are following what is on the scope or in the BRD document. You are following that. You have, if it's in the tech project, you have business analysts providing user stories to guide the developers to execute where, in that phase, you get the work done. That's what execution means. Executing is getting the work done. That's what the project execution phase is all about. Then the control phase is very important also. In this phase, you are trying to, I've executed, I want to know if what has been executed, if it's going to be the right qualities, if it's what was put down in the business requirement document or in the scope of work or in the project charter. You are controlling, you are doing your QA, you are testing, is everything working? Or if it's a construction project and all of that, you have people come on site. Is this thing working? This thing is not properly put well. You need to put all of this well. That's what the control phase is all about. You need to check what has been done in the execution phase. That's what the project control phase is about. And the last phase is the project closeout phase. You are done with initiating, you're done with planning, you're done with execution, and you're done with control. In this phase, that's when we are going to go live. Go live means that the project is going to come to life. You are ending the project in this closure phase. Everybody's satisfied. You've done your user acceptance testing in the control phase. The people that are going to, the end users are going to use this application. They are happy with it. Everything is okay. We can now go live. And in this go live phase, like I said, project management varies across industries. So it depends on what industries are, what's their patterns or what they use in their industry. But in the tech industry, the go live phase entails, you are pushing to pre-production, you are going to do change management. In this change management phase, you are going to drive adoption, you are going to tell everyone that, this particular product is coming, like awareness, creating awareness that this particular product is coming, be anticipating it. You tell them, the end users, what this project or product is going to do and all of that. And in this phase, once all of that preparation, go live activity preparation is done, then you go live. There should be that set date, the timeline we've set to go live. We'll have to go live on that day. Right? That's what the closure phase is about. So, and also in the closure phase, there are lessons learned that during the project, maybe one thing happened that was not supposed to happen. I like to put it that in the closure phase, you have to document your lessons learned. So in case you are going to manage this kind of project in the coming years, you have an idea on what you can do to avoid you repeating that same mistake. So it's very good to document what you've learned during the project life cycle, right? So that's what the project management life cycle entails. So we have various project management methodologies, and before now, most people use waterfall. Waterfall is the traditional project management methodology, and waterfall entails very structured. It's very structured. So one thing has to happen before another thing happens. We have Agile, we have Six Sigma, we have Kanban, and we have Lean. So in Agile, you have Kanban, you have Lean, you have Six Sigma, you have Scrum. All of these are project management methodologies, and it's being used in various industries. So some industries are very rigid, like in the construction industry, you have to use waterfall. You cannot say you've not laid foundation in a house, you want to go and mount the roof. It's not possible. You have to lay foundation, you have to start setting up blocks, you have to do all of that. It's process by process by process before you can even put the roof or before you can paint the house. So in construction industries, I think oil and gas industries, some of those industries you use waterfall methodology. But I'm just going to speak on waterfall and Agile, and not really talk about the remaining three, that's the Kanban, Lean, and Six Sigma, because of time. So like I've mentioned, waterfall is very, very is a traditional way of managing projects. But there are some industries that you have to use this. It cannot even be swiped away. Even in the tech industry, people use both waterfall and Agile. It's called hybrid, right? So what is Agile? Agile is like adaptability. Agile is flexible. It's exposed to change. Some people start and say, why do we have to go through waiting time? One thing has to happen before another thing happens. And people came about Agile Scrum. Scrum is an agile methodology, and in the software development lifecycle, you get to use Scrum methods where you have your sprint, you have your daily stand-ups. Daily stand-up is like a meeting that you have for 15 minutes just to check in with the development team on how the project is going. How what they are working on is going. That is, if there are blockers, you try to remove those blockers and impediments for 15 minutes. But like I said, it varies across various industries and how the standard. But best standard is you have daily stand-up for 15 minutes so that your developers can go back to work. You don't get to waste their time. And if there are issues, you can address it after the daily stand-up. So Agile has like various events that they have various events, and Agile is like the most commonly, Scrum, has various events, and Scrum is like the most commonly used Agile methodology in the tech industry, right? But me, I tend to use, I know like sometimes some industries, some stakeholders are very, some companies are very rigid. You can't just wake up one morning. People don't like change. In Nigeria, like people don't like change. Even in the world, people before they can adapt to change, it takes time. So what in my industry where I work, what we use the hybrid methodology. We mix both waterfall and both agile methodology, right? And this is actually, it's a good methodology for, you can adopt it. But some industry like the fintechs and all of that, they can use, mostly agile, that's Scrum, because they are releasing, like the former speaker said, you are releasing the product incrementally. So what is available, what the users are going to use, that's very important. You give it out to them. You build that and give it out to them. Let them start using that one for the main time before you say, oh, you want to finish the whole project, time you go. That's like what releasing incrementally means. So that's just a brief on project management methodologies. We can't go in depth on all of these methodologies because of time. Yes. So yeah. One other key aspect of project management are tools. In project management, you have to collaborate. You have to use tools to make your work effective. So I just came up with some of these tools you can use. So the first tools here, we have documentation and collaboration tools. I'm sure many of you have heard of Microsoft Teams. You've heard of Google Workplace, you've heard of Slack, or you've used it, even if maybe even Zoom too can be a tool for collaboration. So this totally depends on the industry you're working in or the company, whatever their license and subscription is, or whoever is their provider, they use it. But in my industry, my company, I use Teams, right, for collaboration. SharePoint is a cloud tool where you can set, or you can document you can store documents, right, same as Dropbox, paper. Notion is for like planning out. You can use Notion to like draft what you need to do. Slack is like a collaboration tools where you can have calls, you can meet cross-functional team members, same as Team and Google Meet. So these are just some of the tools that you can use to document and collaborate in project management. While there are tools as issue and project tracking tools. You have tools like Jira, you have tools like Redmine, Trello, Asana, Monday.com, you have ClickUp, you have Pivotal Tracker, you have Bugzilla, you have MS Project. Like I mentioned, it depends on your organization, right? I use MS Project and Azure DevOps based on, we are on a Microsoft plan. We use a Microsoft license. So it comes with the Microsoft license. Some organization use Jira. I've used Jira in the past. I've used Trello in the past. I've used Asana in the past. So it depends on your organization subscription. But if you are like a freelance project manager, you can subscribe to like maybe a Jira plan. It depends on how long your project is going to take. You can subscribe to that. You can use it. Jira is for like collaboration. So you have various people on the call, right? And or on the project, there's going to be like an open box. You have an icon where you can doing, done. You can tag your developers. Hello, where are we on this project? What are we doing? What does this project like? You can just it's open. Everybody can see what's going on in a Jira board. Same as a Trello board too. Everybody can see what's going on. So if a stakeholder wants to know what's going on in project, they can go on a Jira board and just check what it is. MS Projects, I love it because you can use it to create project plan for tracking. It has like where you can put tags, your resource name. So maybe, for instance, Steven is the one building so and so part in the project. Steven's name is there. Anybody that shares the plan, they can literally see that, oh, Steven is the one working on this thing, and Steven can be reached out via Teams, right, to know, oh, where are we on this? So these are like just some tools. There's other tools, but these are some tools that you can use in collaborating and tracking projects.
Thank you so much. There's quite a lot, so much.
Okay, my time is my because I can't see.
Yeah, your time, please.
Okay, so let me just I'm done. Let me just wrap up. So building a career in project management, it depends on where you want to start from. So if you're already working as maybe a customer service representative, or you're already in the career space, you have transferable skills, some soft skills that I've listed out here that you can just use to transfer and write a bit of some certification, or you can just transition and volunteer in your current organization, though I'm only part of the project team, and you can transfer and become a project manager. But for a newbie, you can start as an IT project coordinator. You can start as a junior project or an assistant project manager. Then from there, you go to get to be a project manager, a senior project manager. You can be a director of project management or a head of project management, and you can be a vice president of project management. Like I said, all these job titles depend on organization. Some organizations just have only project managers. You have like a couple of project managers managing it, and you just have senior PMs. So it depends on organization. So I'll just talk on some soft skills that are very vital in project management. Communication is very important. I'm sure everybody knows what communication is about. You need to be able to effective communicate so that your stakeholders or the people you are managing their project understand what's going on. Leadership is very important because you're managing cross-functional team, you're managing various teams, you have developers, you have quality assurance, you're even managing the stakeholder. So you need to be in charge. You need to be able to speak that everybody is going to listen, or you may need to pass information and everybody say, oh, the project manager, she's here. You can ask the project manager. You need to own up that project because you are the face of the project. Anything happens, they are coming to the project manager to know what's happening. You need to have problem solving skills. You need to be able to manage time. You need to have conflict resolution skills because, of course, you're having different people come together to work. Conflict must occur. So it's very important that you need to understand what's going on and help to resolve this conflict so that project can keep on going and can keep on track. Because if you have people fighting and not being good terms, your project will slack. It will not move on. You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to manage risks. You need to be able to negotiate. You need to be able to collaborate, and you need to be able to manage your stakeholders. So these are just some of the soft skills you need as a project manager professional, project management professional. So this is my last slide. And in this slide, I'm just going to talk about certifications to consider in project management. Some of these certifications are for like entry level and some as you progress in your journey as a project manager. Like I mentioned, for me, anybody I get to mentor, I tell them that because you can start knowing what project management is about by learning on Coursera, because Coursera is an edtech platform that it has so many courses you can learn from. So I highly recommend the Google Project Management course on Coursera. It is ideal for beginners' introduction to project management. And some of this, and the certification is even good because if you are looking for like a project management intern role or a junior project management role, and employers see this in your resume, they tend to like, oh, this person has been able to pass through or know what project management is about. And you can, be able to start working as a project manager or a project management intern with this certificate. You also have CAMP. CAMP is from the PMI. Like I mentioned, PMI is the globally most recognized project management body in the world. So CAMP is a PMI certification. Is certified associate in project management, right? It's ideal for beginners who are stepping in to write the professional project management certification. That's the PMP. So if you have like 3 years experience and above, you can take up to write the PMP certificate. This is recognized globally. It requires experience and also examination. So the examination is, if you study where you can pass it, it's quite tough. But if you have your PMP, it's going to put you up when you are applying for jobs. People, you even see it. If you are searching for project management job, you are seeing certifications considered. You see PMP. It's very, very recognized and it's important. Employers tend to put this certification, for they use it to just, you can, if you have this certification, you can be like a top applicant when you're applying for a job. Prince 2 also is a structured methodology. It's popularly in Europe, right? So Prince 2 is a global recognized certification also in project management. Then you have CSM. CSM is a certified Scrum Master. You have professional Scrum Master. It depends on the body you are writing this. And this focuses on agile principles and Scrum framework. you can have the certificate, because like I mentioned earlier when I was explaining methodologies in project management, some companies use hybrid. So if you have a PMP and you have a Scrum certificate, you are able to manage and execute projects well, because you have idea on traditional way of managing projects and you have idea of the agile way of managing projects. Then you have PMI. PMI is Agile Certified Professional, Practitioner Certificate. This covers like multiple agile approaches when managing a project. So these are just a few certifications to consider in project management that will set you aside when applying for jobs or when looking for jobs. This is the end of my presentation. I don't know if there are questions. I'm open to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. Like Mr. Tohib said, he said this presentation just made me feel confident that project management is my calling. You see, people are changing their calling because of your presentation. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions regarding the presentation or any aspect of the presentation, you can drop your question in the chat. So like you said you started from your NYC, and because I know you very, very well, and I've been someone who watched your trajectory, how you moved from NYC straight into project management. I've been seeing the growth from LinkedIn. I'm like, this lady is so inspiring. So it shows that your NYC is not just, should not be a waste.
Yeah.
So it should not be a waste. You are a very young person, and it's quite inspiring to see young people like you and myself doing wonderfully well. So it shows that your NYC year shouldn't be a waste. You see, she's transitioning from NYC to direct project management. Now she's working in IT, in managing stakeholders and all that. So thank you, Madam Kerry.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right.
Oh,
All right. Kehinde is saying, she said, it helps me a lot in my leadership career. PM is just like leading team with all these criteria. I really learned a lot tonight from different perspectives. Thank you so much. So there is so much positive feedback from your presentation. So
thank you.
I'm sure you are opening, according to your bio, you say you are opening to mentorship and all that of aspiring projects and managers. So at the end of this program, we are going to have people in the mentorship group, and we'll reach out to you. Hopefully, you'll be able to find time to be able to come mentor some of these people.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so what are the criteria that you would need the people that wants to be under your mentorship? What are some of the criteria? Because I believe you are someone who has so many things on. For me to even get you to get to this to have this presentation was not easy. So I believe you want people that are ready, people that are already doing the basic, the fundamentals. So I just want them to hear it from you, please.
Okay, so first things first, I would say that before you go into project management, it's not always easy, right? Maybe my presentation may make it seem easy, right? Because like I said, you are the face of the project. You are the first person they are calling if anything goes wrong. They are not even listening to developers that are building, or maybe people that are building. They are not looking at that. But you are the first person. So I would say that the first things first, you need to be open to learning, right?
Yes.
You need to be open to learning. You need to be, oh, you are sure of this, right? You are able to, you work under pressure. So when you are able to, like, be a leader. So I don't know where the noise is coming from.
Please go on, please. Sorry for that.
Okay, so yeah, you are able to like be a leader, right? You have leadership skills, and you're someone that just wants to grow and learn. So I tell anybody that I want to mentor, they always want to like hear from you first. Why do you want to go into project management? It's not because, is it because of money? Is it because of you are hearing that it's a good career path? You need to have like a passion for it, because it can be very demanding and stressful. So I love people that have passion for it, right? And if you are someone that have those skills that, like I mentioned earlier, it will be a very good landing for you to just start. So I need to have people that have passion for it, not someone that today you just engage with you, and the next moment you're not even following up with me. I have 2 ladies that I'm currently mentoring, and kudos to them. They are always on my neck. I'm very busy, but those people always like disturb me. Like, yeah, what can I do? What can I? And I love that because I was like that before. I have like a boss that she's a very good mentor to me too. And whenever I go to her, she's always like, providing answers for me. So I know I had that zeal that I wanted more. So I need zealous people. I don't want people that I'm going to be the one chasing after you or trying to. So you have to be very zealous, for me to even start engaging you or trying to mentor you. So yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you very much. There's a question that said, how do you source for cost on a project you are new to?
Source for cost.
Yeah.
So when you're sourcing for cost, like projects you are used to, in what way? Maybe a new project comes. Is that what the person mean?
You are in a new project and you are trying to source for the cost of the project
New
or
project.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so that question is good. So you have like projects that has happened before, right? Maybe if you're new to like project management, they are like, for instance, you want to build an app, you need to know that, in that app you need to have you need to employ developers. You need to go out. What do I need? These developers, how much are they going to charge? You're adding that to your cost. You have to buy license, where you're going to build, store this application, database space. Are you using AWS? Are you using Azure? Where am I going to store this, all those technical things? But where am I going to store this application? You need to know that. So you're adding it to your cost. If you are doing a construction project, you are going to add those step-by-step things you need to form, like, you get resource, or in your project planning, you need to know all of this. You need to listen. And for if you are freelancing, you're a freelancer, a project manager freelancer, the clients you have will be the one to allocate those costs to you. You are the one that is just going to go to the market and search for those things and look at, how much is it going to take to pay a developer for maybe 3 months. If the project is going to run for 3 months, you're adding that to your cost budget, right? And your client is the one to allocate that money to you. Or if you are in an organization, money is going to be allocated to the project. It's not like you're the one bringing the money from your pocket. No, you're just helping them manage the project. So money are always going to be allocated to those projects. It's just for you to list out those things and allocate various resources. You can do market, you can search, search on the internet how much it costs, reach out to people to know how much it costs to get so and so things running on time. You browse and all of that. So that's how you can get cost for projects. I don't know if that answers the question the person asked.
Sure it does. Okay, the final
Okay.
question before we close. It's from Damila Ray Bikunle. He said, do I get courses of project management on Coursera organized by Nigerians? Because I always find it difficult to understand foreign accents.
So on Coursera, I don't think so, right? I only know of the Google Project Management course on Coursera, and I recommend it. Trust me, you would understand it. If you're a newbie, you will understand it. Don't worry, the accent is not an issue.
Yeah,
Just
and
open your mind to learning, you will understand
sure.
it. But I know that they are like, there is, I don't know of Nigerian market, right? But I know that there are communities that you can join. I know of the PM network that you can join. It's a very good community to learn on project management and all of that. So you don't really need to wait for Nigeria. Nigerians, I don't know. I don't know. And YouTube also. You can go on YouTube. There are so many people, creatives, like they're putting up things on project management that you'll be able to understand well. So I'm sure that maybe there are Africans or Nigerians there that have those courses out there that you can learn from. But trust me, the Google Project Management course is very good. Trust me. If you start
Yeah.
that course, you'll be able to understand. You don't need to have a knowledge on project management for you to understand. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think that in these Coursera courses, there are subtitles as well as transcripts, so you can as well read along while they speak. Mm, all right, maybe your network is having a problem. We just have
Exactly.
one last question. This is from Chukwedu Victor. You said you made mention of various job levels in project management from start to top. For a company that gives a role to only project manager, where could there be lapses or job overlapping? Oh. All right. There is the mentorship group. WhatsApp mentorship group is currently being circulated in the chat.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I
There's
got
one.
this one.
Okay, sorry for that. There's one final question by Chukwedu Victor. He said, you made mention of various job levels in project management from start to the top. For a company that gives a role to only project manager, where could there be lapses or job overlapping? I don't know if you understand the question.
Okay, I think I get him. Can you hear me, Stephen? Please
Yeah, I
confirm
can
you
hear you.
can
I
hear
can hear
me.
you.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about career trajectory in project management, right? Some companies employ project managers. They have like multiple project managers. Some like software or fintech companies, you have like various project manager. You don't have junior, you don't have senior. Everybody's working on various projects. And you know, there are multiple projects going on. It's not just one project in the tech industry. As a project manager, you can even be managing 10 projects as a go, only you, right? So that's for you. You are going to identify your stakeholders. Like I said, project managers are superheroes because you can be managing 10 projects as a whole. You are managing stakeholder A, stakeholder B, stakeholder C. So you have a clear objective of what the project entails, right? As the project manager, you have the various resource people, the people that are working on the project team or development team on the project. So I don't think you should have overlapping role as project managers, except maybe instance that only one project manager in the organization is managing various projects. It can be very difficult and challenging. A micromanage. There are a couple of organizations that have 2 to 3 project managers, and you know that you are managing projects for you, stakeholders, people are going to develop team, project, and so on and so forth. So everybody has like their clear project they are managing, and you are not going to confuse your role. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, that answers the question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is,
You're welcome. Yeah.
thank you so much. All right. It's quite an honor to have you here today. Your presentation is so wonderful. Your presentation is so wonderful. Tomorrow's session is we are going to have data analysis, and I'm sure that many people have been itching for data analysis. We're going to have data analysis, and we're going to have a migration expert who is going to be talking to us about migration, about how you can prepare yourself to migrate if you want to migrate, if you plan to migrate. Uh, Mrs. Kerry, we are going to get to you as regarding mentorship and all that, some of the people that are interested in mentoring, so that we can know how to structure the mentoring for them. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring us. All right.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me also.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor. So
Okay.
there is the group mentorship group chat. I want you all to join. I want you all to join the group chat so that we can be able to share the videos for these sessions, because there are many sessions. Some people are writing me requesting for videos of this session for yesterday and day before yesterday. We have all the videos. We would be sharing it on the in the group chat. So try as much as possible to be there. All right. We will be closing now. Tomorrow we are still meeting here by 8 p.m. Try as much as possible to invite your friends, because these things you are hearing here, you are not going to hear it anywhere. We had two wonderful sessions today. And those sessions are really like mind blowing. The first session on software development and this session now is mind-blowing. So try as much as possible to invite people. You post about these early morning prayers on your WhatsApp status every day. You post things about church on your status. I'm not against church, but try as much as possible to post this as well. Post things like this because this is something that you are helping people, you are reaching out to people. There are people you can't help with money, but you can help by inviting them to things like this, to events like this and stuff like that. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.